Hey everyone. One thing that sort of comes as part and parcel of being a mostly retro game player as I am and making mostly videos about older games as I do is that there's not a lot of news in my field. There are not a lot of, I think by definition, there are not a lot of new games coming out that are 20 years old. I think that would be pretty much impossible to do. There are occasionally retro-styled games that come out, of course. I mean, retro-style games are not rare, but I usually don't review them just because, there are a lot of them, and it's not my intention to make a video about every game that looks like an old game. I mean, it's not just being retro-styled that makes a game great. You don't just automatically make a great game by making a game that tries to emulate the look of old NES games or DOS games or whatever. But one nice perk about having my YouTube channel is that sometimes my wonderful viewers do make me aware of new developments in my field, of which there are sometimes some. And this is one of them. This is the recently released demo to a wonderful game called The Crimson Diamond, which is still in the works. I'm not sure about the release date. Is it going to come out next year? Optimistically, it might come out in 2019, but that seems a bit optimistic to me. I actually don't know if there is an official release date for this. Somehow I don't think there is, but or am I imagining that I saw a release date mentioning 2019? I'm not sure now. Anyway, before I talk a lot about it, let me go ahead and get back into the game so you can see what it looks like. All right. So the game is made by someone named Julia. It's a work in progress. It has crude placeholder graphics, filler music, as you're hearing, unfinalized character and place names, unpolished dialogue. Enjoy. Yeah, so here we go. The Crimson Diamond. You might notice this maple leaf. The game is in fact Canadian, so Julia Minamata, maybe it's Julia or Julia, is indeed Canadian. It's always these Canadians, man. What is it with Canada and this old game scene? All these Canadian people who are into old DOS games. I don't get it. I don't know why. But anyway, you might already have an idea of what this game is like, or what game it's trying to look like, just from this opening screen. You've probably already got an idea, but let's go ahead and click on the intro. Crimson, Ontario, 1914. And yes, that is Ontario, the Canadian province. The game is made by Canadian and set in Canada. So this guy caught a fish, and he's gutting the fish, and a gem pops out. Now, that might look like a particular adventure game character that you might know. Not the guy who was talking, but the woman in the middle of the screen.
There you are, Nancy. This is it. What we've been waiting for.
I like the way he slides.
Far up north, a fisherman found a massive diamond in the belly of a fish. Diamonds!
Diamonds!
This could be a real boon for our mineralogy exhibit. We need something better than those dilettantes over in geology. I need to learn to pronounce English properly. I want our exhibit to be the talk of the town.
As you always say, Professor.
And I'm going to have a very, very hard time not giving this woman a southern accent, because she is very obviously modeled after a certain adventure game character who has a southern accent, even though this character is Canadian. Okay, here are the placeholder graphics that we saw a mention of.
I know you're just a clerk, but we can't spare anyone else to head up there. I'm not usually in the habit of sending unsupervised young ladies into less civilized regions. But as luck would have it, the discovery was made near a lodge where I'm sure you could stay while you conduct your field work. You may not be formally trained, but you know your stuff. So get on home, pack your bags, and catch the train up north.
I'll do my best.
So you can see some of the surrounding graphics here on the perimeter of this screen are unfinished.
If you find something that can make a big splash at the museum, who knows? Maybe the university will finally accept you as a mineralogy student. I've always been all for it, but you know how the administration is about these things. They want more than my recommendation. Good luck, kiddo.
I won't let you down.
A few hours later...
Here's my tree.
At least one character here has been well drawn. Well, I mean, yeah, these are supposed to be placeholder graphics, so the point isn't that... Yeah, I mean, these graphics do look a bit primitive here.
Goodbye, big city. Hello, adventure.
A few hours later... Okay, I have to admit, the intro is a little bit cringy in some spots. Zzz. Here comes another person who also doesn't move their legs when they walk.
Excuse me, is the seat taken? Not at all. Please have a seat.
You know what? I probably shouldn't go through this whole intro because I think it's subject to change. Let's just... So, let me go ahead and pause this just for a second so I can see the very obvious. So, I almost feel silly saying this, but just in case anyone doesn't know, just in case there's anybody watching this who has never played The Colonel's Bequest, this is very obviously inspired by The Colonel's Bequest. The red-haired woman on the right is very obviously Laura Bow, except here she's named Nancy, which I think might be a reference to Nancy Drew, because I think Laura Bow was always based on the character Nancy Drew from, you know, the children's books. And then the woman on the left is very obviously Lillian, except here she's Asian, I think, well, she's Japanese. And so they changed Lillian up a bit because they made her older and they made her Japanese. So in The Colonel's Bequest, of course, Lillian was about Laura's age. They were both, you know, both young women and both white, Caucasian, European, whatever. So they changed that up a little bit to make it a little more multiracial or whatever, but I mean multi-ethnic, whatever you want to call it. But it's still basically the same idea. It's just Lillian except slightly older. You know what? I'm actually not going to read through this whole intro because it goes on for a while. Yeah. So. Laura Bow is called Nancy Maple, I guess a reference to her being Canadian. So yeah, she's from the Royal Canadian Museum. She's supposed to go up and check out the diamonds. She's a geology student. The finished game is supposed to actually give you some very light information about geology. So I'm going to guess that the person making this game is either a geology student or maybe studied it at least for a little while and thought it was interesting enough to put it into a game, which, you know, why not? I mean, I like it when games can broaden your horizons a little bit, so it's a nice idea. Yeah, she's not a trained mineralogist, but ever since she was a kid, she loved learning about rocks. That's, well, okay,
I'd spend hours in the library reading all about them.
Yeah, so she wants to be formally educated in mineralogy and be a geologist. That's her dream. So they're going to a town called Crimson in Ontario, a place called Crimson Lodge, and Lillian is staying at Crimson Lodge as well, or not Lillian, but whatever this woman's name is. And she's a birder. I think the correct word is ornithologist. But anyway,
We can be traveling companions.
So one thing that I don't like about the intro is just that it's a little bit too Deus Ex Machina. The odds that these two random strangers on a train, will be going not to the same city, but even to the same manor, it stretches credibility a little bit. I mean, yeah, of course it could happen, but I don't know. I don't want to pick on it too much because, you know, it's, okay, Deus Ex Machina, it is what it is. So Nancy and Kimmy chat on the train, and then the train goes somewhere, as trains so often do.
As trains so often do.
The conductor announces, "Crimson, this stop."
Oh no, where's my luggage? It's not here. I can't find it anywhere. My field kit's in there. What am I gonna do?
The train will be leaving soon. Nancy, we have to leave now. That's one very chunky train.
Oh, I had no idea anyone else was still on the train.
I know that Laura's Canadian. Not Laura, Nancy. I know that Nancy's Canadian, and so she doesn't have a southern accent, but I so strongly associate a southern accent with Laura Bow. I really just can't disassociate them. Anyway, I could give her a normal voice, but I think that would be less interesting, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to voice her with a southern accent, even though I know it's wrong. I hope that you folks can forgive me for that.
Hello there.
Hello?
I didn't notice you in the train. Isn't that funny?
Not really. I was in the first-class car.
I'm here to see the nesting cormorants. Is that why you're here?
Cormorant? Is that a type of rodent? Oh, not so high class there, are you? Oh, here comes, I just realized this guy reminds me of someone. Whom does he remind me of? Does he remind me of someone from Devo? Or maybe Tim Cook? Or maybe someone else? Somehow he really reminds me of someone that I've seen somewhere in some television thing, whatever, I don't know. Excuse me, folks. But I was sent to pick up just one person from the station tonight. A European fellow, expert mineralogist on assignment, hired by the federal government on loan from Antwerp. Oh, this guy's from Antwerp, which is in Belgium. I wasn't told he'd be bringing any secretaries, wives, girlfriends.
I'm sorry for the confusion, sir.
Jack.
I'm sorry for the confusion, Jack, but we don't know this man at all.
A likely story.
My name's Nancy Maple, and my friend here is Kimmy Kishiro. My name's Nancy Maple. I was sent from the Royal Canadian Museum to investigate the diamond claim up by Crimson Lodge.
And I'm here to see the nesting cormorants.
We're both here to stay at the lodge and go about our business. Do you know which way it is from here?
I surely know where it is, because that's where I drove out from. But, I'm sorry to tell you ladies, the lodge has been closed to the public for months. You didn't hear? My boss, Mr. Richards, he's getting on. He's done with the lodging business. All he wants is peace and quiet. But then this whole diamond fiasco starts up. Folks all up in arms. He's not pleased at all, I can tell you. This gentleman is here on the government's orders. Mr. Richards can't do much about that. But you two... Well, that's unfortunate, but you've only yourselves to blame for being uninformed. Let's be off, Jack. And I know I'm giving him kind of a snooty English accent, but if he's actually Belgian... what does a Belgian accent sound like? I mean, he almost looks like he should be kind of like Hercule Poirot, but Hercule Poirot is obviously French, and Antwerp is in the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium, so maybe he should have a Dutch accent, but what does a Dutch accent sound like? I don't really know. Good evening, ladies. The thing is, ain't no one's coming by here at this time of night, and the nearest accommodation is the lodge, which is a few hours away by automobile, even still. Look here, I'll drive you ladies up to the lodge for the night. Tomorrow morning I'll bring you back here so you can catch the train. As it is, Mr. Richards is going to be peeved about hosting unexpected guests. I mean, even more than he is already. His sister's come up from the city to stake her claim. And she brought a lawyer to boot. Oh, lawyers. Come along now. Why did he set his suitcase down? Oh, because he expects Jack... Sure, I'll get those for you. Because he expects Jack to carry his suitcase, okay. Jack has... Oh, there are 2 suitcases. Jack has a very straight way of bending down. You see, he bent at the knees. That's like a good Canadian way to bend down. You don't bend your back because you'll injure your back that way. You bend your knees because you save your back that way. Sir, your trunks arrived a few days ago.
Boy, they sure are heavy.
Wonder if that's a reference to a certain line from Dagger from On Raw at the beginning.
Those trunks are full of very delicate equipment. I hope you were as careful as I'd requested.
As careful as could be.
My, it sure gets dark here at night.
Lucky for you, I've made this trip many times. Used to be folks who'd come out here in the summers for recreation. And before my time, settlers came to this area in hopes of building lives for themselves. But once the mines were used up, there wasn't much reason for them to stay. The soil ain't that good. Took me ages to make a small patch of land fit for harvesting.
Have you seen any cormorants? I'm hoping to see some.
Yeah, they nest up on the cliffside. Stay away, though. They don't like being disturbed, particularly during nesting season, which happens to be right now. So if you're so wild about birds, I'd let them alone. You do more harm than good. Besides, tomorrow morning I'll be taking you right back to the train station. You won't have any time to go looking for them. You want to see something neat? Go over to the Sioux locks and see the boats getting raised and lowered. Now that's a sight to see.
Have any other diamonds been found around the lodge?
First of all, no way to know if that rock even came from around here. I've lived in this area for You know, I'm going to skip some of this dialogue. I mean, this dialogue it really just goes on. Okay, didn't go on that long, but... Anyway, your traveler companions resist your attempts at chit-chat. It seems that Kimmy and Albert have fallen asleep, although in those complete darkness, it's hard to tell. After here it comes back. Yeah, okay. Alright, here we are. So yeah, it's a manor. Here we are. Okay, a little breaking the fourth wall. This is what the game graphics are actually going to look like. Except this car, of course. This car looks pretty darn sketchy. I'm surprised the car got us here, actually. The wheels aren't even spinning.
Kimmy doesn't have any walk cycles yet.
I have a little animation, but not much. Okay, yes, a little breaking the fourth wall there. A little breaking with the fourth wall never hurt. Welcome to Riverside Lodge. Miss Kishiro and Miss Maple, your bedroom is upstairs at the end of the hall on the right. The bedroom across the hall from you, that's Mr. Richard's suite. Try to keep quiet and stay out of his way, won't you? He shares his suite with Margot. She's his lady friend. After I get this luggage upstairs, I'm going to start up some supper. Why don't you explore the lodge a little, talk to the other folks? Most important, stay out of my hair. I'm a busy man. You don't have any hair, sir, I guess. Okay, I guess that's a very obvious joke. Not literally, of course. Oh, and if you want to shower tonight, use the upstairs bathroom near the stairs. It's very pink, you can't miss it. Wonder if Nats is still here. How many places do got us at the table tonight? I'm going to my room. You can commute upstairs to your shared bedroom. You don't have any luggage to unpack, but you hang your hat and coat on the footboard of your bed and consider yourself settled in.
I suppose I should do what Jack recommended. Talk to everyone and get to know them a little before dinner.
Type notebook, note, or N to open your notebook. That's a nice... I like that they had the courtesy to let you just type N instead of having to type the whole thing. Your notebook contains prompts that will help you progress through the game. But be careful, if you follow the notebook without investigating for yourself, you may miss details. Chapter 1, Introductions, with an S, so plural. And this is the game, ladies and gentlemen. So, when I first saw this, so I had a couple of different reactions to this game when I first became aware of this game. When I first saw it, I thought, wow, awesome. It really looks like, very obviously, with one look, you can see it's trying to mimic the look of the Colonel's Bequest. But then when I looked at it a little more, I thought, okay, it looks too much like the Colonel's Bequest. It's really not... I thought, this is not a fan-made game. This is almost like a remake. Like somebody just decided to remake the Colonel's Bequest, and why bother? I mean, you're just making the same game, except you're making it in AGS. This is an AGS game, Adventure Game Studio, the Big Blue Cup, which is probably a logical choice. When I first saw this, I thought, man, if you're going to make a game like this, why not just make it in SCI? I mean, it is possible to make your own games using SCI, Sierra Creative Interpreter, so why not just make it using that and let it run in DOSBox instead of making a Windows game that's based in AGS? But I guess there are a few reasons. I mean, I understand it's probably easier to develop a game in AGS and certainly easier for other people to run, since most people probably don't know how to use DOSBox. But I thought, okay, this is the author of this game should use their creativity a little bit more, because they're really not exercising their creativity. They're really just like copying exactly the look and feel of the Colonel's Bequest. So that was my first reaction when I ran this and started playing it a bit. But it's not. It really does have its own spirit and its own story and its own characters. The look is very obviously based on the Colonel's Bequest. The setting is very obviously based on it, because you're here in this lodge, and most of the action seems to take place inside this building. So there is heavy inspiration here, but it really is an original game. And as you start to play it, or as you start to watch other people play it, you'll start to see it really does have a personality of its own. And lo and behold, the game does have a parser. This is the bedroom you're sharing with Kimmy. A pair of twin beds and matching nightstands are set against the east wall. Kimmy is cleaning the bed close to the fireplace. A clear move on her part, as summer nights are still chilly this far north. Kimmy is here. I think that I may have actually seen a message from Julia, or Julia, or Julia, the person making this game, on an older video of mine where I explained how to implement a text parser in AGS. Now, that was just a short video, but at the time, I think I saw somebody, I think it was this person, I think it was Julia, who said, oh, thanks for the information, this will be helpful because I'm actually just starting on making a parser-based adventure game, Sierra-style game. And at the time, I just kind of shrugged it off and thought, yeah, I mean, lots of people start on projects like that. Lots of people get the great idea of, working on something like this, and it usually never gets very far. But what's remarkable of this game is how far it has gone. I believe this game is pretty much the work of one person. I think all the graphics and the story writing, dialogue and everything, all the programming were done by one person, by Julia. So that is a fair amount of work. There is a fair amount of work that goes into a game like this. And so this game is notable, not necessarily just for the concept, because lots of people have a concept like this, but just how far it's come and what state it's in, considering that only one person has worked on it. Now, again, you saw that some of the graphics are kind of placeholders, but that's mostly in the intro. Once you get past the intro and here into the game, a lot of the graphics here are already quite complete. So let's take a look around. I'm not going to play through the whole demo. I've already been talking for over 20 minutes. I don't want to play the whole thing, partly because I want to encourage you to play it yourself. I think that pretty much anybody who's into my channel, pretty much anybody who likes old Sierra games, which is probably most of you because that's most of the people who watch my channel, I think you should personally download this demo and play it yourself, because it really is, well, let me show and not tell. I don't want to say too much more about it. Let's just take a look around. So we looked already around. Let's look at Kimmy. I do like these introductions. So one thing that I like about this game is the character introductions like this. One thing that bugs me about this game is if you later say, look, Kimmy again, you won't get this again. So you won't have the option, as far as I know, of getting the same intro a second time around. So if you forget some details about a person, I don't know, I'd like a verbose mode. But anyway, Kimmy is a petite Asian lady in her 40s. She's regularly dressed in knickerbockers and sensible shoes. Family immigrated from Japan in the 1850s. She's writing her sketchbook with a pen. Right, but if you say, look, Kimmy again, and then it just says she's writing a sketchbook with a pen. I wonder, is there actually a verbose command? No. I always turn on verbose when I play these games because I don't like missing details just because I was ready in a place once. But anyway, so we can look at stuff here. We can look at the beds. Two twins bed in this room with matching quilted covers. Can I get the covers? No, the game doesn't understand that. One of the situations where the game uses a word in the description and then doesn't understand that word when you try to type it. But that's common, you know, and I mean, I can understand that you probably don't need to use the word covers in this game. Let's see, can I open the suitcase? Please don't touch my things. Oh, that's not our suitcase, right? Nancy forgot her suitcase or she didn't forget her suitcase. Her suitcase got lost. Okay, let's take a look at the couch. Comfy window seat looks like it would be a nice place to do some reading. Can I read? Huh. Okay, that answers my question. Sit. Okay. This is one thing that you sit down. This is one thing that I actually kind of like about this game. The game tends to let you do stuff like this. In most games like this, if you tried to say, sit down, the game would say, you don't have time for that. You're an adventurer on an adventure. You don't have time for sitting around. But here, if you say sit, Nancy sits. She actually sits down. And why not? I mean, you said to sit. You typed sit. So why shouldn't she? So, I mean, it's just a small touch, but I like things like that. That's one thing that I like about this game. We can look at these fireplace things here, like the poker. There's a, poker made of wrought iron. It looks pretty sharp. Can we get the poker? The poker might poke through your pocket and puncture your leg. And what about the fireplace shovel? It's made of wrought iron, has a wooden handle. Can we get the shovel? It's needed for proper care and maintenance of the fireplace. All right. I don't know, man. I used to have a fireplace, and I don't think I ever used a shovel with it. Can we look at the cabinet? Fancy glass paned curio cabinet is full of silver steins, bowls, and various other items. One thing I like about the parser here, it's just a small thing, but I like little details like this. If I type a letter now, like if I press L, for example, it actually brings it up using a capital letter. And yeah, you can backspace over it and then type the lowercase letter, which I don't think AGS has a way to force the first letter to be capital if you're already in the text box. But it's just a nice little touch. Oh, if you just type an empty text box, it actually gives you a generic response. It's kind of funny. I don't know. I mean, there's stuff like that, just little touches like that, which I think are nice. Can I get I think this is my hat here. Can I get the hat? Yes, I can. Oh, and there's a little ding sound. The game makes a little ding sound like that when I guess when you make some progress. I don't know if that's meant to be. I don't think there is a point system in this game, because the game doesn't understand score, and I don't see any, there doesn't appear to be any menu bar or anything up here, unless I'm just missing it, but I'm not aware of getting points, but there are still certain events that sort of advance the game a bit. Can I look at the hat? Your green felt hat. Okay, that's a logic glitch. It's not a big deal, but if you type look hat, first it shows you your hat in your inventory, and then it says you don't see a hat here. Okay, that's just a small thing. I realize that's a game glitch, which can relatively easily be fixed probably. So yeah, what do we have in our inventory? We have our lucky mineralogist's loop. Where's that lupe? Actually, don't know. It's it's funny. It's a French word, and I guess in French it would be pronounced lupe. It's also the same in German. Even in German, it's lupe. But in English, I actually don't know. Is it pronounced loop? I don't know. Anyway, an issue of the Toronto Eye, which I think is not a real newspaper. And here's your green hat. Okay. We can actually use the lupe to look at things. Aren't you a clever girl? You admire the minute dots that comprise the newspaper photograph of a round-cut diamond. The natural diamond described in the article will be an octahedron, not a faceted specimen. What an embarrassing inaccuracy. Your hat looks pretty good considering you got it secondhand. I think the reason why this says, aren't you a clever girl, is because you're trying to look at the lupe with itself, which is obviously impossible. So I think that's the game kind of commenting on that. Okay, let's go... Actually, let's look at the pictures. A triptych of small woodcuts on uncolored paper hang in silver frames. I must admit, I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it triptych or triptych or I don't know. And there's a black and white photograph of a mountain over the fireplace. All right, let's go ahead and go outside here. One other thing that It's again, this is a small detail. Some people might actually get annoyed by this, but one thing I like about this game is notice when you open a door, she doesn't go through the door. She still stays where she is. So it is possible for you to choose to open the door, but not go through it, which in most games is not the case. In most adventure games like this, if you type open door, your character will automatically walk through the door into the next room. I don't know if that has any gameplay role in the game at all. Maybe there's a puzzle where you need to open door but not go through it. It's a small thing, but I like it. It makes sense. To me, it seems logical because you didn't say open the door and go through it. Or I didn't. I didn't type open the door and go through it. I just typed open door. So I just wanted the door to be open. I didn't necessarily want to go through the door. So that's one thing that I like about this game. Type in for I to open your inventory window. Okay, so deal with settings for graphical inventory window. Press escape to open the main menu if you'd like to switch to the text inventory window, among other things. Right, so here we can choose between text-based inventory and graphical inventory. So we had graphical inventory, now we have text-based inventory. So let's look at the inventory now. Yeah, so now it looks like this. And I can't use the arrow keys to move anything or use the mouse to click on things. It's just a list. And then you have to type text to say look at hat, for example. Actually kind of like the graphical inventory, I have to admit. I don't mind graphical inventory systems. I like the parser. To me, the parser is very important, as you folks probably know. Most of you folks know that the parser is very important to me in games like this. But I don't necessarily mind a graphical inventory. It's kind of cool, actually. Let's see, can I make the speed go way up? Oh yeah, Laura walks a little faster now. Or Nancy walks a little faster now. Let's look at this painting or picture. A masterful oil painting is framed at the end of the upstairs hallway. The plaque reads L. Harris. Ooh, she's a little fast there now. All right, let's open this door. And once again, we can stay here or we can actually go through the door. So where are we here? This is the master bedroom. Mr. Richards shares it with Margot. You feel a little weird about invading the private space. There's a wardrobe and nightstand to the left and right of the bed. There are 2 doors in the south wall. So we can open the wardrobe. Oh, yeah, it helps if you spell it correctly. So she opens the wardrobe, looks inside. The wardrobe's empty. Can I go through the wardrobe to Narnia? That's just a little effect, okay. Take wardrobe, put it in your pocket. Either that isn't here, so you have no need for that. Okay, I mean, kind of generic response, but okay, fair enough. Open door. Here again, you can see the door open, but all right. So, what is this? Margot's boudoir transports you to fin de siècle Paris. Fin de siècle, of course, meaning end of the 19th century. It's shiny, opulent, perhaps slightly tacky, and very, very pink. A mirrored vanity is the focal point of the room, but all right. Exotic perfumes hover in intensely localized clouds that you can almost see. Margot is here. All right, so let's look at Margot. Margot is Evan Richards' paramour, which I think is a polite word for some... Okay, anyway. She is more glamorous than you'd expect to see in these parts. She has shining flaxen hair, fair skin, and full lips. She's fashionably attired in a pink damask and ivory lace dress. She seems sweet, but you've met charmers like her before. She's powdering her nose at her vanity.
I suppose she's primping for dinner.
Can we talk to her?
Hello, Margot. It's nice to meet you. My name's Nancy Maple.
A pleasure to meet you, mademoiselle. Welcome to Crimson Lodge. How long will you be staying with us?
So this is, I guess, Fifi.
I'm only here tonight, unfortunately. I was sent here by the Royal Canadian Museum on assignment. But Jack says I'm due to leave on the train tomorrow, according to Mr. Evans' wishes.
I see. I'm sorry we won't get to know each other better. Crimson Lodge is a lovely place. I was a city girl for a time, but those days are behind me, oui?
And again, there was that little ding, which I guess means, I think the ding plays in this section of the game when you talk to every time you talk to a character, because what you have to do here is talk to everyone. It's just like in the Colonel's Bequest where you have to perform a certain sequence of actions to advance time. It's the same idea here. You have to do things to advance time in the game. So I think you can already see the game, interface-wise, setting-wise, the game is very directly lifted from the Colonel's Bequest. The interface is the same. The appearance of the main character is the same. The premise is the same. Even the way that you have to advance time by talking to everyone and going everywhere and looking at everything is the same. But the characters are original, the plot is original, and the setting is original. I mean, it's based on the Colonel's mansion, but it's a different building actually. So they really did a lot with this game. I say they. I mean, they obviously means Julia, because I assume Julia did pretty much everything. It's really a game with, yeah, like I said, with its own personality. As it has its own assets, its own story, its own everything. So I really don't have anything negative to say about this game. When I first saw this game, I actually felt a little bit like it was trying to appeal too directly to people like me. I mean, I'm sure, I mean, you folks know who I am. Some of you folks have been watching my videos for something like 10 years now. You folks know what I like and what I don't like in computer games. And while obviously I do like DOS-style art, and I do like parsers and adventure games, that's something that I harp on time and time again. It is possible to pander to those tastes a little too much. And when I saw this, I almost kind of said to myself, this is really like somebody who's very deliberately, very directly trying to just give people like me what I want. And it's not necessarily that I just want every game to be exactly as I say a game should be. I mean, you're allowed to be creative. When you're making a game, you can be creative. You can take some flights of fancy and take some, use that artistic license that is given to you as a creator of a world, of a story, of characters. So I kind of looked at this and thought, man, it's almost like somebody is just deliberately trying to take the things that I most like and trying to make a game that appeals directly to someone like me. Not necessarily me personally, but people like me. But I think this is legit. I mean, this is really, it is a real piece of individual art. This is something that one person made individually. And that's one thing that we all love about indie games. And I think I'm speaking for all of us now when I say one thing that all of us love about indie games is the individual touch. In a big game that, a AAA game that was worked on by 500 people, there's not a lot of room for the individual touch because so many people's work blends together in such a way that it's the work of a whole studio of people. You don't really see the little touches from one artist putting their touch on the work too much, or putting their mark on the work too much. But for something like this, you can really see the individual idiosyncrasies that come when one person makes a game. So there are some negative things about this game. There are some negative things about this demo which I personally would have done differently, or which I might have liked to see a little bit differently. But I'm not going to criticize this demo for that at all, because it really is one person's work of love. It is the work of one person who loves adventure games so much that they felt inspired to make something like this. So I'm not going to criticize anything here because, again, yeah, there are some things I don't like, but I've criticized games like this in the past for doing things differently than I expected, and I don't want to do that here because this game really is something wonderful. So I'm going to try to avoid making any snarky remarks about... Can I actually shower? I think I watched, there's a YouTube video that's kind of a trailer for this game, and I think, I'm trying to think, I wanted to type shower, but instead I typed day, and I'm trying to think, shod? Was I actually trying to type Shodan? That's weird because I haven't played System Shock in a long time. Okay, can you actually shower? This is Margot and Evan's bedroom. If you want to shower, try the upstairs bathroom nearest the stairs. Okay. I think you actually can, if you look at the trailer, I think you actually can shower in this demo and get exactly the same ending as when you try to shower in the Colonel's Bequest. Maybe we'll see that. Anyway, what's in here? This is Jack's bedroom that he's sharing with Corvus. You can get much noise about his new living arrangement. Larger than back long days and small doors. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff that you can look through here. Of course, if you were playing this game, you would look through all the drawers. Oh. One thing I want to show you. If you type open drawer, watch what happens. She doesn't just open a drawer. She opens all 6 of them. Now, that makes a certain kind of sense, because if you just said open drawer and she opened one, then, you would want to be able to say which drawer she should open, and maybe you might say open top left drawer or something. That's just too much work. Why not just say open drawer and have her simultaneously open all 6 of them? That is actually a really neat touch. It's kind of funny. I've never seen that. I think usually these types of games would make you type open drawer 6 times. The drawers are empty. All of them are empty. And if you try to close them again, she very neatly closes all of them in order. That is just so meticulous. Just that little attention to detail, stuff like that is what really gets me. Attention to details like that is what really makes or breaks these types of games, because it's just all the little things like that that really go into making a game like this wonderful. Let's see, can I look in the trash? Can I look in the garbage? There isn't anything in this waste paper basket. All right, anyway, let's move on. So, what do we have here? I left that door opening sound too. Hold on, the door opening and closing sounds are wonderful. They're so understated and yet they're so appropriate. I like that. All right, so there's a pretty large bedroom. There's a love seat, an armchair, there's a wardrobe, dresser, and a painted cupboard. I wonder if there's anything. Let's open this wardrobe, because you might notice, as I did, there's no door above this one. So it's like there's something here. Don't see anything on the wall. Push wall, feel wall, kick wall. Everything here looks like it would hurt your toe. There must be something up here. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me see. Open wardrobe. Okay. Actually, my first thought was that there must be something behind this wardrobe, because there's no door in the hallway here, so there must be something here. But then I realized in here, these 2 rooms are down here. So actually, the reason why there's no door here is because this is where that bathroom is, and the powder room with the French woman. So okay, that's why. All right. Seemed like a nice idea, but I guess I was wrong. Oh, here's the Belgian fellow. Here's Mr. Poirot. Small bedroom, humbly furnished. Albert insists on getting a room to himself despite its size. The furniture in this room is of simpler make and consists of a wardrobe, desk, and nightstand. Albert is here. Let's look at Albert. He's a stately, well-groomed gentleman in his 50s. His monocle gives him an elegant air. Antwerp sent him as an expert geologist to verify the diamond claim in Crimson. You have a hard time imagining him doing field work. He's unpacking his things.
Hello, Mr. Respa. How are you settling in?
Please, miss, I am busy at the moment and can't chat. All right. Ding! That's a staircase going down. We'll go there in a moment, but let's see what's in here. Storage room. Upstairs closet. Trunk is locked. And this trunk is locked. Full. Okay, one shelf stands at the back wall full of battered books. On the shelves by the door and holds linen and towels. Okay, so this where I am is linen and towels, and this here is books. Books of water damage, broken spines, and loose pages. Can I get a book? Bored already. Alright, so it's just a little storage closet. Down here, okay, there are 2 more rooms here. Let's quickly check what's in here. Oh, bathroom. Let me go back there in just a second, but first... What's this? Is this the spare room? Okay. Can I sit on the... Yes, I can. And once again, she sits down. And she'll just stay sitting down until you tell her to stand up. I mean, I just really like that. I mean, it's such a small thing. Like who cares? But it's just, it's nice. I like it. Can I get a book? This isn't a lending library. All right. Can we shower here? You aren't about to get into the shower with your clothes on. It's difficult to take a shower when there is no water coming out of the shower head. Can we undress? Oh, yes, we can. All right.
I think some privacy would be nice.
Oh, I like the sly look on her face, the way her eyes look to the side, like, I think, okay, so we're dressed in, and we're actually dressed in a towel. Can I? You would never dream of roaming the lodge in nothing but a towel. Okay, I can actually, all right, can I close the door? All right, can I shower now? Oh. Turn on water. Okay. Is this actually going to... Let me try showering now. Yeah, it's actually going to make me turn on the shower head. There we go. That's an interesting sound effect. That does not sound like water, but okay. You aren't look too sharp. Are you psycho? All right. So yeah, there. Oh, it's the intro again. Okay, we can skip over that and go right to new game. So yeah, there are some things which were obviously taken very directly from the Colonel's bequest. I mean, that shower scene is really, Oh, I went down the stairs automatically because I was so close to the staircase. The shower scene is a very obvious rip-off of Colonel's Bequest, but then again, the Colonel's Bequest, of course, ripped it off from Psycho. So, I mean, yeah. Great artist steal, right? And anyway, it's just a little homage. I mean, again, I think it's pretty clear that that this game is not a copy. It's not a direct copy. It takes a lot of inspiration, but it really does a lot of interesting things that are all its own. Can I flush this toilet? Yes, I can. And I like that sound effect. That's actually a pretty cool sound effect that it makes when you flush the toilet. Again, just little things like that. I'm a little disappointed that we don't see Laura in the mirror. Or not Laura, Nancy. But, oh well. Little stuff like that. Like the way Rosella sees herself in the mirror in King's Quest IV. Oh, this door is open. Oh, you hear voices coming from the parlor. Maybe you ought to listen near the doorway. Oh, okay. Listen near the doorway. Can't use near. Can I just type listen? Oh. We've only just arrived, but I can't wait to leave. I've always hated this place. I love the look on Nancy's face. Look at how, look at how intently she's listening. She looks like she's just about to have an orgasm from eavesdropping on, especially when she closes her eyes. when she closes her eyes like that, it literally looks like she's just hitting her orgasm there because she's like so excited to be eavesdropping on people. We'll get this whole affair straightened out and be gone in no time. Of course, locating the will would expedite our departure.
I told you I don't even know if there is a will.
That does complicate things, yes.
Well, you do your job and I'll do mine.
Oh, and now Laura looks, suddenly Nancy, her face just suddenly looks very determined, like, oh, I will remember that. It's just, her face just goes from very attentive to suddenly very fixed and determined, like, I'm going to do something about what I just heard now. All right, so whom do we have here? We have Nessa and Corvus. Let's look at Nessa. Nessa Krabbe, really? Really now. Nessa Krabbe. Is that Crab or Krabbe? Ms. Crab is Evan Richards' older sister. She is a stern, matronly woman with a look of perpetual displeasure etched onto her face. Back in the city, you've seen plenty of women just like her, well-to-do and disapproving. Nessa sitting stiff on the couch and eating Jordan almonds from a crystal bowl. And the guy here is named Corvus. Yes, Corvus Shaw. He's a nattily dressed Englishman in his late 30s. He seems like a very clever sort with quite a sharp tongue. You can see why he gets along with Nessa so well. Should be gets along with Nessa, not gets long. If he gets long with Nessa, then he is not very not a very discerning sort. I'm going to assume that he does not get along with Nessa, but gets along with her. So if we talk to Nessa.
Hello, Nessa. My name's Nancy Maple. It's nice to meet you.
What on earth are you doing here? Are you another one of Evan's gold-digging girlfriends?
Not at all, but I am a diamond-digging geologist. At least I hope to be.
Oh, she's so adorable. She really is like Laura Bow. She's just so earnest. She just refuses to get insulted or let her spirits get let down. She's so bright-eyed and so earnest. It's so adorable. She's exactly like Laura Bow. The government has sent a professional to handle that. Stay out of his way.
How are you, Nessa?
I'll be happy when I can get back to civilization, reaping the benefits of this incredible windfall.
All right. Can we talk to Corvus?
Hello, Corvus. How do you do? My name's Nancy Maple.
Corvus looks down his nose at you. This is quite an accomplishment considering you are standing and he is sitting.
Hello, Miss Maple. My name's Corvus Shaw. I'm Miss Nessa Krabbe's, nay Richard's lawyer. She's Evan's older sister.
Okay. I know that the game is doing character introduction, but let's be serious now. No person will ever introduce a woman by saying this is Ms. Nessa Krabbe and then say her maiden name as part of the introduction. This just does not happen. I realize this game is probably taking place in an older time period when maybe women's rights were... I mean, this was a time when, women were either a miss or a Mrs. So, yeah, okay, I realize that, but... Actually, I just realized he doesn't say either of those. He says Ms., so he says the generic Ms. to not indicate whether she's married or unmarried, but then he gives away her maiden name to indicate that she's married, so I don't know, man. I don't get it.
Once diamonds have been found on this land, I will ensure Miss Krabbe gets the share owed to her.
You sound pretty sure that there are diamonds here.
Of course. The prospectors have looked everywhere else. That means the diamonds must be here.
I think I may see a flaw in your logic there, sir. Unless I'm misunderstanding what he said. I don't know. I'm not going to dwell on it too long. Anyway, that's Krabbe and Corvus. And then over here we have... Oh, it's a little... Oh, it's hanging... Oh, it's the mudroom. Was there actually, was that a thing in older houses? Did they actually call a room like this a mud room? I mean, I see the deal. This door goes outside. It's too dark to go outside, especially since you haven't explored out there. Yeah. So we're here in the nighttime, and so this door goes outside, and the idea is that when you came in, there was this tiled floor where you could stomp mud off your boots and then put your boots in those little cubicles down there, or those pigeonholes down there at the bottom. And this here appears to be a, not a sink, but a, oh, I guess it is a sink. Yeah, so the rubber hose. Yeah, exactly. It's for washing your boots, so it's not for washing your hands or anything. It's to wash off your boots if you have mud on your boots when you come in. So yeah, mudroom. I wonder if that was actually a thing back in the day. I mean, it makes sense. It's just, you know, I've never heard it called a open cupboard. There we go. Again, cupboard. Oh, it's a locker. It's currently empty. All right. Not empty, it has a hook in the back. You can see it. All right. It's not my intent to play through the whole demo, as I said, and I've already shown off quite a lot of it and been talking about it for about an hour. So, what's that? Oh, it's a bar. This is a cozy bar. Okay. And if I say sit at the bar, okay. I was standing in front of the bar, but you chose to sit on that chair. All right, well, can I say sit on bar stool? Sit on stool? That a cheesy little effect. All right, whatever, doesn't really matter. Oh, and here's, yeah, dining room. Can I sit here? I wonder why she went specifically to that one seat. I mean, I guess that's her assigned seat, but how does she know? I don't think anyone's told her yet that's your seat. But okay. That's... Oh, and here's the kitchen. Go to kitchen. Eat one moose. So, Jack Precord is a... Is that meant to be a... He's a tall, lean man with a shiny, bald head. He is Mr. Richards. Okay, I'm probably really just a notorious pervert, and I probably just have special problems, but Jack really has a head that looks like the head of a certain part of the anatomy, and then the fact that he works for Mr. Dick. I don't know, what shall I say? He's busy preparing dinner. I don't know, man. I doubt that was intentional. I think I'm just really being very
Hello, Jack. How do you do? I'm Nancy Maple.
Okay, you've already met. Come on, you've met Jack before. He was the guy who said that he's going to drive you to this lodge. Sorry, I can't talk right now, miss. I'm busy. Jack moves from stove to counter and back again, whipping up what is sure to be a fine meal. He is too busy to talk. So, yeah, I should probably stop now because this video is already an hour long. And it's not my intention to overwhelm you folks with an excessive content or to show you everything. Like I said, you really should try this yourself because it's really good. Wow, I mean, you want to check out this room, don't you? You want to look at all the stuff in this room. And what about whatever is back here? Oh, your voice is coming from the conservatory. Maybe you have to listen near the doorway. Okay, well, I'll leave you folks to listen near the doorway and see what you can hear. Oh, look at these people. It's a lion, or I think that's a Native American or Native Canadian, a First Nations person. I think that's a First Nations person, and a guy patting his sofa because he's very friendly with that sofa. He's giving the sofa a good pat to let the sofa know it's a good boy. Let's look in the garbage. Look in the garbage can. Look in trash. Look in basket. What? Okay. I don't know. The game is still in development. There's still a lot to be added, obviously, but it really has a lot going for it. I think it's obvious that once again, this game is a labor of love. There is a lot of work that's gone into this game already. It will take a lot more work, obviously, to realize the full game. But I think that Ms. Julia is in a good position to realize her goal of actually completing this game, because this game is it's really good. I mean, like I said, there's nothing that I can really complain about. There are some interesting choices that the game makes, but that adds to the game's charm rather than taking away from it. So if you have any interest at all in games like this, I would encourage you folks to play this game yourself. It's good. It's good stuff. So thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you. If you're watching, Julia, I assume you probably watch my channel now and then, because I'm pretty sure that Julia commented on my earlier video about making AGS games with text parsers. So I'm going to assume and hope that Julia actually did watch me bumble around her demos. So thank you, Julia. Really, I mean, this is great. It's great stuff. I mean, and I'm not just saying that to be nice. I really mean it. I know I've sometimes been critical of remakes and fan-based games in the past, and I have reasons for that. I mean, I am a purist, but this game it really combines everything that is great about adventure games. It has exploration, it has interesting settings and characters, the graphics are wonderful, it has a text parser, which is very important in an adventure game, and it has that ding sound effect that plays when you talk to people, which I like. And the door closing and opening sound effects are cool. I mean, I like subtle sound effects like that in games, and the sounds of the doors opening and closing in this game are actually, they're quite they are late blight approved. I give them a thumbs up for what that's worth. So yeah, this game is a great thing. Keep it up, Julia. Like really keep at this. You've got something very special here, and I think that it will turn into a very special. It is already a very special game, but I'm very excited and very curious to see the result. So take as long as you need. Don't rush it. I know sometimes as you start getting more public attention, it can be very tempting to try to rush and get things done. Don't do that. Do it at a pace that will let you create a game that's good quality, that's the game that you want to make, and don't feel like you have to hurry to satisfy people. The people whom you're really making this game for will be willing to wait for quality. So don't be afraid to invest that little bit of extra time and effort into it to make it perfect, or well, not perfect, but I mean to make it perfectly as you would want to make it. So anyway, okay, that is it for me. Thanks again for watching, everyone who actually watched all of this. I will talk to you folks later. I am gone.